Welcome to Tagalog Lesson 20. Pagsasabi ng oras sa Tagalog. High noon in Tagalog is called tanghaling tapat. It can also be called alas 12 ng tanghali. Midnight in Tagalog is called alas 12 ng hating gabi or alas 12 ng madaling araw. But most of the people would simply call it hating gabi. About the daytime hours in Tagalog, 5 o'clock a.m. is usually the start of the morning. So it is called alas 5 ng umaga, while 4 a.m. is called alas 4 ng madaling araw. Umaga is considered to be from 5 a.m. to just a minute before high noon. After alas 12 ng tanghali, or high noon, and until 6 o'clock or whenever it gets dark, it is called hapon or afternoon in English. Be careful not to pronounce hapon fast, otherwise it would mean Japanese. Dusk in the Philippines is just a few minutes before 6 o'clock. Dusk is called takip silim in Tagalog. Poetically, a takip silim can be called dapit hapon. Both night and evening in Tagalog is gabi and is considered to be from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. Some Tagalogs may call the hours from 12 midnight to 4 a.m. as gabi, but it is generally considered madaling araw or dawn. It is called so until bukang liwayway or daybreak in English. Now, let's begin learning how to tell the clock time. If you're not familiar yet with Tagalog counting in Spanish and English, it is recommended that you study Tagalog Lesson 19. But if you haven't studied the Tagalog numbers yet, please go to Tagalog Lesson 1 and memorize the numbers. Tagalog people tell time in 4 ways. 1. Tagalog numbers. 2. Spanish. 3. U.S. English. And 4. English spoken in Tagalog pronunciation. 1 o'clock p.m. Usually, no Tagalog would call 1 o'clock in Tagalog. They always use Spanish, but in formal speeches, it is possible to hear ika-isa ng hapon. Ala una is the Spanish of 1 o'clock. The U.S. English way of saying it is 1 o'clock. And the Tagalog pronunciation is 1 o'clock. 2 p.m. is called ikalawa ng hapon in Tagalog. In Spanish Tagalog, it's called alas dos or alas dos ng hapon. In U.S. English, it's 2 o'clock. And in Tagalog pronunciation, it's 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock p.m. is called ikatatlo ng hapon. In Spanish, alas tres. In U.S. English, it's 3 o'clock. And in Tagalog pronunciation, it's 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock is ikaapat ng hapon in Tagalog. The Spanish is alas cuatro. Now here's a double letter A in alas cuatro. The rule is you pronounce the first A, then pronounce the second A without closing your throat, as in ah. So qua becomes qua and cuatro becomes cuatro. Then U.S. English is 4 o'clock. And the Tagalog accent is 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock is ikalima ng hapon. And in Spanish, it's called alas cinco. And U.S. English, it's 5 o'clock. And in Tagalog accent, it's 5 o'clock. Ika-anim ng gabi is the 6 p.m. in Tagalog. And in Spanish, it's alas sais. In U.S. English pronunciation, it's 6 o'clock. So always remember, Tagalog people cannot pronounce it in the U.S. way of 6 o'clock because By nature, Tagalog people really speaks slower than the US people. The Tagalog pronunciation is 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock p.m. is ikapito ng gabi. And the Spanish is alas siete ng gabi. US English style is 7 o'clock. And in Tagalog pronunciation, it's 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock p.m. is ikawalo ng gabi. Spanish is alas ocho. So you have a double O in ocho. So it's a bit longer. In US English style, it's 8 o'clock. And in Tagalog pronunciation, it's 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock is ikasyam ng gabi. While in Spanish, it's called alas nueve ng gabi. In US English, it's 9 o'clock. And in Tagalog pronunciation, 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock is ikasampu ng gabi. While in Spanish, it's alas diez. And in US English, 10 o'clock. In Tagalog pronunciation, 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock in Tagalog is ikalabing isa ng gabi. Spanish is alas once. In US English, 11 o'clock. And in Tagalog pronunciation, 11 o'clock. Midnight in Tagalog is hating gabi, while in Spanish is called alas doce or alas doce ng hating gabi. In English, 12 o'clock. And in Tagalog pronunciation is 12 o'clock. Now, talking about minutes. A minute is called minuto, and a second is called segundo. So, 1 minute is called isang minuto in Tagalog, uno minuto in Spanish Tagalog, 1 minute in US English style, and 1 minute in Tagalog pronunciation. 2 minutes is dalawang minuto in Tagalog, and it's called dos minutos in Spanish, 2 minutes in English, and 2 minutes in Tagalog pronunciation. 2 seconds is called dalawang segundo in Tagalog. Dos segundos in Spanish Tagalog. 2 seconds in US English. And in Tagalog pronunciation, it's 2 seconds. Now, when mentioning a length of time or hour, minute, and second is involved, Tagalog and Spanish will start to mix. 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 4 seconds is isang oras, 3 minuto, at 4 na segundo. 3 hours, 5 minutes, and 30 seconds is 3 oras, 5 minuto, at 30 segundo. In rare occasions, a newscaster may mention 24 hours in Tagalog as 24 na oras. But it is rare in real life. Tagalogs are accustomed to saying 24 horas. In telling time with minutes, the Tagalog terms become unusable. For example, 1:30 is alauna e media or alauna 30. A Tagalog speaker may state this time in Tagalog pronunciation using the English time, 1:30. But most often, it is called 1:30. It's going to be very strange to mix English and Spanish in situations like this. So things like alauna 30 is never used in telling time. To say 2:15 in Tagalog, it's alas dos quince. And in Tagalog English, it is 2:15. 3:16 is called alas tres dieciséis. And in English, with Tagalog pronunciation, it's 3:16. 4:17 is called alas cuatro diecisiete. And in English, with Tagalog pronunciation, it's 4:17. You might notice that 4 here is pronounced in a fast por, not the usual por pronunciation in Tagalog. It happens when number 4 is not alone. 5:18 is called alas 5:18. And in English, with Tagalog pronunciation, it's 5:18. When saying almost involving time, Tagalogs would use the word mag-aalas. So to say it's almost 12 o'clock, it's mag-aalas 12 na. And it's almost 2 o'clock is mag-aalas 2 na. Saying quarter is not applicable in Tagalog, so people would just say 15 minutos bago mag-alas 12. Or in non-Spanish full Tagalog, it's 15 minuto bago mag-alas 12. Tagalog call any time-telling devices orasan, but when it is worn on the wrist, it is called relo. Asking for time is anong oras na, but often a Tagalog speaker will mention the specific hour, like it is 7 o'clock yet, or may alas 7 na ba? Another way of saying is 7 na ba? And finally, alas 7 na ba? And that ends lesson 20. So, oras na para mamaalam mga kaibigan. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more video lessons in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and support this channel.